Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lee and I like to talk about anime, Korean dramas, manga, and fashion. So if you're into any of that, then stick around. Today I'm going to be talking about the Violet Evergarden movie. I have so much I want to say about this, so I have my notes. I'm ready. Bring your tissues if you haven't seen the Violet Evergarden movie. It's a lot. So to start off my video, if you haven't seen the Violet Evergarden TV anime series, do not watch the movie. It will spoil a lot. The movie basically picks up where the anime leaves off. There is a movie in between the two that's more of a side story and doesn't really have anything to do with the full plot of Violet Evergarden. If you have not seen Violet Evergarden, I highly recommend it. It is on Netflix and so is both of the movies. It's absolutely incredible. It's one of my comfort shows. I think it's absolutely stunning. The art is incredible. It gives me a lot of Studio Ghibli vibes. I love the art. It's one of my favorite art styles that I've seen in anime. The story for the anime itself, beautifully done, beautifully written. It's so sad, but so beautiful at the same time. A little description of the Violet Evergarden show, because I know a lot of people think it's very much based around the fact that she used to be in the military. It's not a huge focus of it. It does affect her character development and it affects the story, but it's not mainly set during war. So Violet Evergarden is about Violet, who was a child soldier, who's emotionally detached as she settles into a post-war society and into a post-war city. She basically wakes up in the hospital and has no idea what to do with her life, and is taken in by a man who's starting his own postal service to help people who have lost their families during the war and are trying to reconnect with them, but who can't necessarily write. It's not very common to be able to write or type on a typewriter. So he teaches Violet how to type, and she learns how to become a ghostwriter for people. And through her ghostwriting, she learns how to handle emotions and learns what emotions are, and just really learns about herself and learns about what's her purpose and what does she want to do with her life, since her whole life was basically to be this perfectly well-trained soldier. If you're not into war, there are war flashbacks, but it's not the main focus of the story and of the movie. Moving into a spoiler section, if you have not seen the movie, please do not continue from here. The movie picks up right after the anime leaves off. It leaves with her looking for Major Bougainvillea and her being very heartbroken that she cannot find him now that she has learned what love is. I cried throughout the entire movie, I will say that. I would have preferred for the movie if they hadn't included this like young girl who's the great-granddaughter of someone who Violet wrote a letter for. I think it would have been much better if they had just continued on with the anime the way that it was. You know, this is Violet, this is Violet's story, this is how she's feeling, and this is what she's doing. I thought that it was really unnecessary and it disconnected the plot, and it really disconnected from the story itself. It felt weird, it felt awkward, it felt unnecessary. Like, I don't know why the writers felt the need to do that. The novel is completely based around Violet's personal opinions and Violet's mindset. So it just felt awkward having this random girl who is following this story of Violet and following her finding Major, and as if it was like a historical thing. It just felt very weird and unnatural. I didn't like that aspect of it. That was pretty much one of the only things I really didn't like. Violet Evergarden is not your very typical melodrama romance anime. It's so beautifully done and it's so well written. And I love the fact that they don't make it very, like soap opera. Like, I think it's really well done. A character who I really didn't like in the original show, but who I kind of grew to understand, I wouldn't say I like him in the end, would be the Major's brother. I still think what he did to Violet was awful. You know, he picked up this kid and basically was like, here, have a kid soldier, Merry Christmas. But I think I understand where he's coming from with his dislike towards Violet in the anime. He lost his younger brother who he was incredibly close to. At least he thinks he does in the movie and in the anime. In the novel, The brother knows that Major Gilbert is alive. He's completely in on it, and I'll get to that. Sorry about that. Side note. But yeah, it just felt like he didn't get a lot of character development in the anime, so it was nice to see him get more of a character development now in the movie. When Major says to Violet, "You don't need me anymore, so let's not meet," my heart shattered for her, and I literally broke down in tears because this girl looked for him for so long, held out hope that he was alive for so long when no one else believed her. And then that, like, oh my god, baby girl, oh my god. So, highly recommend the novel. I read it a couple of years ago, so side note on that. So if I don't remember a lot of it, or if I'm wrong, please let me know, but I do prefer the novel. In the novel, Gilbert basically decides, I'm gonna let Violet live a normal life. I'm gonna have her go live with the post office. I'm gonna have her go learn about emotions and like see if she wants to have a normal life. But he's living in the city with her. He's not on this like island with these people. Like, he's in the army from what I can remember, and he's working for the army with peace agreements. And he's like keeping an eye on Violet and keeping up with her and keeping track of her. And there's a festival that happens in the novel where everyone writes letters to whoever they've never been able to write letters to when they're nervous with love or whatever. And then an airplane basically drops them over the city. And Violet partakes in that. She writes Gilbert a letter. She writes him this emotional letter, and she's there at the festival with everyone, and she's like, I don't know if I can do this, like, I gotta go home. And she goes to go home, and she sees him with his brother, like, walking around, and it's like this big thing of her finding him. Overall, I think the novel is better than the movie. I am planning on going back now and rereading the novel because it's been a few years. I do also remember there's a big section about Benedict Blue, who's my favorite character besides Violet in the show, and a little bit of backstory on him. There's more backstory on each of the other characters. It does get into more detail about all of the characters other than Violet. And overall, it's a really interesting novel. I'm really curious to see if, because the show and the movie are so popular, if they will go back and make little mini-series or OVAs of different aspects of the novel. I hope you enjoyed my review. Sorry if it was a little scattered all over the place, but I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.